I can't believe you're still carrying that thing, Lena said as she pointed at the small wooden keychain hanging from my backpack. You know I made that when I was 10, right? Yeah, I said, trying not to smile too hard. And you said it would bring me luck. I took that seriously. She laughed, soft and familiar, the same way she did when we were kids sitting by the creek behind her house. For a moment, it felt like nothing between us had changed. But then she looked over her shoulder, tense, as if checking whether someone was watching. I noticed it again. That nervous glance. That strange stiffness. Mara around. I asked. No, she said too quickly. I mean, I don't think so. Why? You always look like you're waiting for her to jump out of the bushes. That's ridiculous, she muttered, but she wouldn't look at me. I stepped beside her and nudged her arm. Hey, you can talk to me. You always could. I know, she whispered. I'm tired, that's all. Tired of what? Tired of everything. I opened my mouth to ask more, but she forced a smile and said, Can we not talk about that today? Let's just walk a bit. So we walked down the old road near the school, the one with the broken fences and the wildflowers that always made her sneeze. She used to pretend she wasn't allergic just so she could pick a handful and shove them in my pockets. Back then, I thought she was the bravest person I knew. Do you remember what you told me at the summer fair? I asked after a while. Her eyes narrowed. Which part? When you climbed the Ferris wheel frame even though you were terrified of heights. She groaned. Don't remind me. I thought you were going to let me die. I told you to climb because I knew you'd make it. You told me I'd be fine because you'd never let go of my hand, she said softly. And I didn't, I replied. For a second, she looked at me the way she used to, open, warm, and too close to hope. Then the look faded, replaced by something tight and guarded. Evan, why are you bringing all that up? Because it matters, I said. Because you told me something else that night. Her breath caught. Don't. You said, I'll always choose you. You said that like it was the easiest thing in the world. I was a kid, she whispered. So was I. But I meant it. She looked away again. Lena, I said, what happened to us? You barely answer my texts. You leave before I can talk to you. And every time I come near, you act like I'm holding a bomb. Please stop, she said. It's not like that. Then what is it like? I can't tell you. You can. You just don't want to. That's not fair. Neither is pushing me away without a reason. She flinched, and guilt washed over me instantly. I didn't want to pressure her. I didn't want to make her cry. But her silence carved holes in my chest, and I didn't know how to patch them without asking questions she refused to answer. I miss you, I finally said. I don't know how else to put it. I miss you too, she whispered, and for a moment I believed her. But missing someone doesn't fix everything. It's a start. No, she said. Not for us. She kept rubbing her hands together like she was trying to warm herself, even though the air wasn't cold. I almost reached out to take her hands in mine, but something in her expression told me she'd pull away. She'd never done that before. Did I do something wrong? I asked. No, you didn't. Then why do you look at me like you're scared? I'm not scared of you. Then who? She shook her head. Evan, please drop it. I hated how small her voice sounded. I hated how the girl who used to drag me into every stupid idea now looked like she was carrying something too heavy to lift. Is this about Mara? I asked quietly. Her breath hitched, barely, but I heard it. I knew it, I said. It's her, isn't it? No, she said again, but her voice wavered. I stepped in front of her, blocking her path. Lena, look at me. I can't. Why not? Because you'll see it, she whispered. See what? That something's wrong. My chest tightened. Then tell me. Let me help. You can't. How do you know? You won't even try. She shook her head, tears forming but not falling. I'm trying to keep everything from falling apart, Evan. That's all I'm doing. And you think pushing me away is the way to do that? Her silence was all the answer I needed. Still, I wasn't ready to accept it. Not yet. Not when every part of me remembered her promise, her laugh, her hand in mine on the Ferris wheel. "You haven't changed," I said softly. "You're still the girl who said she'd always choose me." "No," she said, almost breaking. "That girl is gone." I didn't want to believe her. I still don't. I stood outside Lena's house with my heart slamming against my ribs, trying to steady my breathing as I rehearsed the words I'd been choking on for years. "I love you." Simple, obvious, overdue. When she opened the door, I whispered, "Lena, can we talk?" She nodded, looking tired, and I followed her inside. "I just need to say this," I said. "I've loved you for so long, and I thought maybe you felt something too." She froze, her fingers trembling on the back of the couch. I waited for her smile, her laugh, her relief. Instead, silence suffocated me. "Evan, don't," she murmured, and that single crack in her voice sliced through me sharper than any blade. "What do you mean?" I asked, stepping closer. She backed away as if my confession burned. "I don't want you," she whispered. The words stung so violently I felt my knees weaken. "You don't want me? After everything?" She shook her head, eyes darting toward the hallway like she feared being overheard. "I never did," she forced out. I laughed, ugly, broken. "Lena, that's not true." But she only squeezed her hands together and whispered, "Please, just stop loving me. Right now. Please." My chest collapsed in on itself, and I felt the air leave my lungs as if she'd punched me. "Why?" I asked, my voice cracking. She pressed her palms to her temples. "It doesn't matter." "It matters to me," I insisted. "Is there someone else?" She didn't answer, only bit her lips so hard it turned white. "Lena, look at me." She refused. "Just forget this," she muttered. "Forget us." I shook my head violently. We promised each other we'd always be honest. At that, her breath hitched, and she whispered, so faintly I almost missed it, "Please go. Now." I stumbled out of her house like a ghost, replaying every second until my vision blurred. By the time I reached the street, tears were threatening to spill, but anger burned beneath them. She didn't mean that, I whispered to myself. She couldn't have. I leaned against a lamppost, gripping the cold metal as my heart thrashed. "What are you hiding, Lena?" I muttered. The question gnawed at me until I paced back toward the house, unable to let it go. I wasn't ready to face her again, but I needed answers, anything to keep my world from collapsing tonight. I crept around the side of the house, staying low beneath the windows. My heartbeat thundered in my ears as I heard voices from inside. Lena's trembling whisper drifted out first, "I can't hurt him like this." My breath froze. Then came Mara's sharp reply, cutting through the air like ice. "It's already done." I felt the blood drain from my face. "Mara, please," Lena cried. "He doesn't deserve this." "He'll survive," Mara snapped. "You did what you had to." I gripped the siding, feeling everything inside me fracture as their secret conversation twisted my reality beyond recognition that way. "What are you doing to me?" I whispered, though neither of them could hear. My pulse hammered so violently I thought I might faint. "Lena didn't choose this," I breathed. "She was forced." The realization crashed over me, ugly and undeniable. I clenched my fists, nails digging into my palms. Why would Mara do this? I muttered. Why interfere at all? A storm of confusion and rage surged through me. I backed away from the window, afraid of hearing more but terrified of leaving with only fragments. My heart screamed for answers, but my mind warned me I wasn't ready for the truth. I forced myself to step away, my legs barely holding me upright. "I need to get out of here," I whispered. The cold night air hit me as I stumbled back onto the sidewalk. My breaths came in uneven bursts. She lied because she had to, I told myself. Mara made her. But even that truth didn't soothe the gaping wound in my chest. Why me? I muttered. Why ruin us? Streetlights flickered overhead while I paced in circles, desperate for something to make sense. Everything felt like a betrayal carved into my skin, too deep to ever heal again. I leaned against the nearest tree, burying my face in my hands as my emotions spiraled. I should talk to her, I whispered. I should tell her I heard. But fear gripped me. What if confronting her made things worse? What if Mara punished her? My stomach twisted. I can't lose her completely, I said. Not like this. A breeze rustled the branches above, and I felt impossibly small beneath the weight of everything I'd just learned. She still cares, I told myself. I know she does. But the night pressed in, asking the question I couldn't escape. Why now? I pushed off the tree, wiping my face with the back of my sleeve. I have to know everything, I muttered. I won't let them decide my life. My footsteps echoed as I walked away from the house, each one heavier than the last. Lena didn't want to hurt me, I whispered. She was protecting me. The thought shredded me. But from what? I stared down the empty road, feeling it stretch endlessly in front of me. This isn't over, I said, my voice shaking. I'll find the truth myself. And for the first time, I feared the truth ahead. I stood outside Lena's house with my heart slamming against my ribs, trying to steady my breathing as I rehearsed the words I'd been choking on for years. I love you. Simple, obvious, overdue. When she opened the door, I whispered, Lena, can we talk? She nodded, looking tired, and I followed her inside. I just need to say this, I said. I've loved you for so long, and I thought maybe you felt something too. She froze, her fingers trembling on the back of the couch. I waited for her smile, her laugh, her relief. Instead, silence suffocated me. Evan, don't, she murmured, and that single crack in her voice sliced through me sharper than any blade. What do you mean? I asked, stepping closer. She backed away as if my confession burned. I don't want you, she whispered. The words stung so violently I felt my knees weaken. You don't want me? After everything? She shook her head, eyes darting toward the hallway like she feared being overheard. I never did, she forced out. I laughed, ugly, broken. Lena, that's not true. But she only squeezed her hands together and whispered, please, just stop loving me. Right now. Please. My chest collapsed in on itself, and I felt the air leave my lungs as if she'd punched me. Why? I asked, my voice cracking. She pressed her palms to her temples. It doesn't matter. It matters to me, I insisted. Is there someone else? She didn't answer, only bit her lips so hard it turned white. Lena, look at me. She refused. Just forget this, she muttered. Forget us. I shook my head violently. We promised each other we'd always be honest. At that, her breath hitched, and she whispered, so faintly I almost missed it, please go. Now. I stumbled out of her house like a ghost, replaying every second until my vision blurred. By the time I reached the street, tears were threatening to spill, but anger burned beneath them. She didn't mean that, I whispered to myself. She couldn't have. I leaned against a lamppost, gripping the cold metal as my heart thrashed. What are you hiding, Lena? I muttered. The question gnawed at me until I paced back toward the house, unable to let it go. I wasn't ready to face her again, but I needed answers, anything to keep my world from collapsing tonight. I crept around the side of the house, staying low beneath the windows. My heartbeat thundered in my ears as I heard voices from inside. Lena's trembling whisper drifted out first. I can't hurt him like this. My breath froze. Then came Mara's sharp reply, cutting through the air like ice. It's already done. I felt the blood drain from my face. Mara, please, Lena cried. He doesn't deserve this. He'll survive, Mara snapped. You did what you had to. I gripped the siding, feeling everything inside me fracture as their secret conversation twisted my reality beyond recognition that way. What are you doing to me? I whispered, though neither of them could hear. My pulse hammered so violently I thought I might faint. Lena didn't choose this, I breathed. She was forced. The realization crashed over me, ugly and undeniable. I clenched my fists, nails digging into my palms. Why would Mara do this? I muttered. Why interfere at all? A storm of confusion and rage surged through me. I backed away from the window, afraid of hearing more but terrified of leaving with only fragments. My heart screamed for answers, but my mind warned me I wasn't ready for the truth. I forced myself to step away, my legs barely holding me upright. I need to get out of here, I whispered. The cold night air hit me as I stumbled back onto the sidewalk. My breaths came in uneven bursts. She lied because she had to, I told myself. Mara made her. But even that truth didn't soothe the gaping wound in my chest. Why me? I muttered. Why ruin us? Streetlights flickered overhead while I paced in circles, desperate for something to make sense. Everything felt like a betrayal carved into my skin, too deep to ever heal again. I leaned against the nearest tree, burying my face in my hands as my emotions spiraled. I should talk to her, I whispered. I should tell her I heard. But fear gripped me. What if confronting her made things worse? What if Mara punished her? My stomach twisted. I can't lose her completely, I said. Not like this. A breeze rustled the branches above, and I felt impossibly small beneath the weight of everything I'd just learned. She still cares, I told myself. I know she does. But the night pressed in, asking the question I couldn't escape. Why now? I pushed off the tree, wiping my face with the back of my sleeve. I have to know everything, I muttered. I won't let them decide my life. My footsteps echoed as I walked away from the house, each one heavier than the last. Lena didn't want to hurt me, I whispered. She was protecting me. The thought shredded me. But from what? I stared down the empty road, feeling it stretch endlessly in front of me. This isn't over, I said, my voice shaking. I'll find the truth myself. And for the first time, I feared the truth ahead. I kept replaying Lena's rejection in my mind, every syllable echoing like a bruise that refused to fade. I don't want you, she had said. I never did. I tried to believe her tone was flat, emotionless, convincing. But something in her eyes had trembled. Something had felt wrong. I'd spent 2 days trying to swallow the truth she handed me, but it kept tearing my throat open. That's why I dragged myself to the party, noise to drown everything out. But even with music shaking the walls and people laughing too loudly, I couldn't settle. I kept pacing, clutching my drink without drinking it. I need air, I finally muttered to myself and slipped down the hallway. That's when I heard Lena's voice, soft, cracking, breaking in ways she never allowed anyone to hear. Harper, I can't keep doing this. I froze. My hand hovered over the doorknob of the half-open room. I shouldn't listen. I knew that. But her voice had a hook buried deep in me. Harper's gentle murmur followed. Lena, breathe. Tell me what happened. She thinks I'm weak, Lena whispered. Mara says bringing Evan into our family would ruin everything. My chest hollowed instantly. Mara. Her sister. The one who'd stared at me like she was assessing an insect the first time we met. Harper sounded appalled. She said that? She actually said that. She told me, Lena choked, that if I chose him, she would destroy his life. His future. Everything. My pulse slammed hard in my throat. She blackmailed you. Harper whispered, horrified. She threatened him. Lena's voice cracked. And I believed her. Mara always gets what she wants. I couldn't risk Evan getting hurt. So I told him I didn't want him. I lied. I told him. Her voice collapsed. God, Harper, I told him I never wanted him. My whole body went numb. Harper stepped closer. I heard the floor creak. Lena, he must be devastated. I know, Lena sobbed. I can't even look at him. I hurt him because Mara told me to. And he believes it. He thinks I never cared. My breath stuttered painfully. I felt sick, dizzy, furious. Harper whispered, you need to tell him the truth. I can't, Lena cried. If I do, Mara will follow through. She'll destroy him. She told me exactly how. She has everything ready. I felt something break inside me, not like a heart cracking, but like something sharper waking up. So it wasn't me she rejected. It was Mara. It was control. Manipulation. A game I never knew I was part of. My humiliation flared hot and violent. I stepped into the doorway. Tell me again, I said, my voice low. Both women jolted. Lena's head whipped toward me, eyes wide, wet. Evan, she breathed. Harper's mouth fell open, but Lena looked like she'd been shot. Tell me again, I repeated, stepping into the room. Was it all a lie? Evan, please, she whispered, shaking. Did you ever want me? My hands curled at my sides. Or was I just something you were told to throw away? Lena choked on a sob. You weren't supposed to hear that. That's not an answer. She covered her face. I didn't want to hurt you. But you did. My voice rose sharper. You gutted me with your words, Lena. You let me walk away thinking I meant nothing. Harper touched Lena's arm. Maybe you two should talk alone. No, I snapped. I want the truth now. All of it. Lena's shoulders crumpled. Mara, she said you were weak. Weak? I barked out a humorless laugh. So she threatened me? Threatened my future? Because I wasn't good enough for her perfect little kingdom. Evan, she has power, Lena whispered. Real power. She can end careers, destroy reputations. And you think I'd rather be protected by lies? My voice shook with anger. You think I'd rather hear you tell me you never wanted me? I thought I was saving you, she cried. You were killing me, I shot back. Silence crashed down on us. Lena wiped her eyes, trembling. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know what else to do. I stared at her. The girl I had loved for years. The girl who whispered she didn't want me because someone else told her to. I felt anger ignite deeper, brighter. You should have trusted me, I said quietly. You should have let me fight with you. I couldn't, she whispered. Mara, she controls everything. You don't understand. You're right. My jaw clenched. But I will. Lena shook her head desperately. Evan, don't go after her. Please. Mara will destroy you. She'll destroy anyone who stands in her way. Then let her try. Evan. I'm done being manipulated, I snapped. If your sister wants a war, she'll get one. Harper stepped between us, startled. Evan, listen. No, I turned away. I'm done listening. Evan, please, Lena pleaded behind me. Don't walk out like this. I paused only once, my voice raw. You didn't walk away to save me, Lena. You walked away because she told you to. And then I walked out. Down the hallway. Through the crowd. Out the door. The night air hit me like a slap, cold and punishing. I sucked in a breath that felt like broken glass. Mara thought I was weak. She thought she could break me without consequence. She thought I'd stay silent. But as I walked into the darkness, I felt something unfamiliar build inside me. Something fierce, something sharp. Rage. Not the lost, helpless kind. The focused kind. I didn't know she was already waiting. Already watching. Already setting the trap I was walking straight into. But I didn't care. For the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid. I was ready. I barely slept after what I overheard. Lena's truth. Mara's threats. My own fury. By morning my eyes burned, but I still dragged myself out of the house, hoping the fresh air would clear my head. It didn't. Mara was waiting for me at the office lobby, leaning against the marble counter like she owned the building. Which, of course, she practically did. Evan, she said with a soft smile. Walk with me. Every instinct screamed no, but I forced my feet forward. The elevator doors closed behind us. She pressed the top floor button like she was sealing my fate. I heard you were upset about Lena, she said casually. I'm fine, I muttered. You're not. She tilted her head. But you will be. I don't need your help, I said. She smiled sharper. That's the funny part. You do. My pulse tightened. What do you want? For you to stop chasing Lena, she said. She isn't ready for marriage. She's too fragile. Too emotional. Not suitable for someone with your potential. I stared at her. What does that even mean? It means, she said sweetly, you should move on with someone stable. Stable? I repeated. Who? Her eyes met mine without a flicker of hesitation. Me. I actually laughed. I couldn't help it. You're joking. I'm not, she said calmly. The laughter died in my throat. You're serious. Of course, she said, stepping closer. You're talented. Disciplined. Exactly the type of husband our family needs. I don't want you, I said immediately. Mara didn't flinch. You don't have to want me. You just have to understand this is what's best. For who? I snapped. For you. For everyone, she replied. Including your parents. A cold chill slid down my spine. Leave my parents out of this. She sighed like I was being childish. Evan, your mother works under my division. She's one mistake away from losing her job. Your father's reputation depends on me approving the renewal of his contract with our partner firm. And your future. Well, her smile thinned. Let's just say I can open doors, or close them. You're threatening me, I whispered. I'm giving you clarity, she corrected. You marry me, everyone stays safe. You refuse, and accidents happen. Files get misplaced. Contracts disappear. Rumors circulate. My stomach twisted. You can't. I can, she said. And you know I will. The elevator reached the top floor. The doors opened like the jaws of a trap. She stepped out first. Think about it, she said without turning. We can sign tomorrow. I didn't move. I couldn't breathe. I spent the night pacing my room, hands in my hair, whispering arguments to myself. She's bluffing. She's not. She wouldn't hurt my family. She absolutely would. My parents had given everything to raise me. Their jobs weren't just paychecks. They were stability, pride, survival. One word from Mara and all of that could vanish. At 3 a.m., I stared at the ceiling and whispered, "What am I supposed to do?" There was no answer. Just silence. Silence and a threat I couldn't outrun. By sunrise, my decision felt like a chain around my neck. Mara was waiting in a private meeting room, calm like she had slept beautifully. You made your choice, she said, not asking but stating. I sat across from her, hands trembling. If I do this, my family stays safe. As long as you cooperate, she said. Yes. My voice cracked. Fine. She smiled, satisfied. Good. Let's finalize the paperwork. A man wearing a suit entered with a thick folder. He placed the papers in front of me. The legal title at the top read something I never imagined seeing attached to my life. Marriage contract. Just sign, Mara murmured. My hand shook as I picked up the pen. You're forcing me into this. I'm giving you a way out, she corrected. This isn't a way out, I whispered. It's a cage. Some cages are comfortable, she said coolly. I wanted to throw the pen across the room. I wanted to run. I wanted to scream. Instead, I swallowed everything and pressed the pen to the paper. The moment the ink touched the line, I felt something hollow rip inside my chest. Done, Mara said softly. I didn't look at her. I couldn't. The man collected the papers and stepped outside. Mara leaned back, crossing her legs. Welcome to the family, Evan. My fists curled. I hate you, I said quietly. She only smiled. You'll adjust. I stood to leave, anything to escape that room, but as soon as I opened the door, I froze. Lena stood in the hallway. Her hands were over her mouth. Her shoulders trembled. Tears ran down her face in unstoppable rivers. Evan, she whispered. My heart cracked. Lena. When? She choked. When did this happen? Why would you? Mara stepped behind me and rested a hand on my shoulder like she owned me. He made the decision this morning. Lena's eyes widened with horror. No, Evan, tell me she's lying. Tell me you didn't. I had to, I said, voice breaking. Lena, I didn't have a choice. You did, she cried. You did. You could have fought. She's right, Evan, Mara cut in smoothly. You could have fought. But you didn't. I spun on her. Shut up. Lena's sob burst out like a wound splitting open. This is my fault, she gasped. She did this because of me. Because I. Lena, stop. She took everything from us. Lena cried. And now she's taking you. Mara's smile sharpened. He belongs with me now. I stepped toward Lena, but she backed away, shaking, breaking right in front of me. I can't watch this, she whispered. I can't. She turned and ran down the hall, covering her face. I took one step after her. Mara's fingers tightened on my arm. You go to her, and I ruin everything. I froze. That was the moment I realized something inside me had died. Not my hope. Not my freedom. Something deeper. Something I wasn't sure I'd ever get back. And as I stood there in that silent hallway, trapped between the woman I loved and the woman who owned my future, one truth settled like a grave in my chest. My marriage began long before the papers were signed. The moment Mara decided she wanted me, my life stopped being mine. The first morning in Mara's mansion felt like waking inside someone else's skin. I opened my eyes to cold marble, silent hallways, and a woman humming somewhere downstairs like she owned not just the house but my pulse. She probably did. When I walked into the dining hall, Mara smiled like we were newlyweds in love. Good morning, darling. I almost choked. Please don't call me that. Why? She asked lightly. We are married. That's not why. She waved a hand. Sit. Eat. I'm not hungry. You'll eat, she insisted. Her voice clipped even behind the sweetness. I sat because fighting this early would cost more than it solved. She leaned forward. Your schedule today is full. I've arranged a tour of the East Wing, lunch with 2 executives, and dinner with my family. I stared at her. You arranged my day without asking me. You're part of the family now, she said. Your time reflects that. It reflects you controlling everything, I shot back. Her smile tightened. If I don't control things, they fall apart. That's not how life works. For you, it is. Before I could respond, a quiet voice cut in from the doorway. Mara, give him space. Caden stepped inside, hands in his pockets, offering me a small nod. He looked nothing like her, softer around the edges, calmer, almost apologetic for existing in the same house. Mara exhaled sharply. Don't start. I'm not starting, he said. I'm helping. You never help. Not in the ways you want, he replied. I stood. I'm going outside. Mara rose instantly. Where? To breathe, I snapped. You can breathe anywhere in the house. I'm going outside. Her eyes narrowed, calculating. Fine. Caden will go with you. Caden blinked. Will I? Yes, she said. Make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. I looked at him. You don't have to babysit me. He shrugged. It's easier than arguing with her. The air outside tasted like freedom diluted with fear. Caden walked beside me quietly until he finally said, I'm sorry she dragged you into this. She didn't drag me, I muttered. She trapped me. He nodded. Sounds like her. How do you live with that? I asked. He sighed. Survival. Same as you. Does she control you too? Not anymore, he said. But only because I stopped fighting her. You're still swinging. I can't just accept this. I know. He looked at me. But be careful. Mara breaks what she can't hold. My stomach twisted. I didn't choose this. I know, he whispered. We walked the grounds until my heartbeat stopped shaking. When we returned inside, Mara was waiting in the foyer, arms crossed. You were gone too long, she said. I was walking. With my brother, she replied. Not alone. I clenched my jaw. Do you plan to track every minute I breathe? If I must. Why? Because you're mine now, she said softly. I'm not. Her eyes hardened. You signed the papers. That doesn't mean you own me. It means you belong here. I belong nowhere near you. She stepped closer, voice dropping. I don't want to be your enemy. You already are. She inhaled like it hurt. Then at least let me care for you. I don't need gifts or attention, I said. I need freedom. You'll have comfort, she corrected. Freedom is unrealistic. I opened my mouth to argue, but footsteps echoed down the hall. Lena's footsteps. I froze. She appeared at the entrance, eyes red like she hadn't slept in days. When she saw me, she hesitated, gripping the doorframe like it was the only thing keeping her standing. Mara's voice sharpened instantly. "Why are you here?" Lena swallowed. "Mom asked me to drop off documents." "No one asked you to come near him," Mara warned. Lena's voice broke. "Evan, can we talk? Please." Mara stepped in front of me like a wall. "No. I wasn't asking you," Lena snapped. My heart lurched. "Mara, move." "No," she said. "Absolutely not." Lena's voice rose. "He's not your prisoner." "He's my husband," Mara shot back. "That doesn't mean you can cage him." I stepped between them before it escalated. "Both of you stop." Lena looked at me, eyes shaking. "Please, just a minute." Mara grabbed my arm. "Evan, if you walk away with her." "Let go," I said. She didn't. I pried her fingers off and followed Lena into the side hallway. The moment we were alone, she collapsed against the wall, covering her mouth. "I'm so sorry." "Lena." "I should have fought harder," she cried. "I should have run away with you when you asked years ago. I should have." "Stop," I whispered. "Please." She shook her head violently. "She ruined everything. She took everything. And now I can't even talk to you without her watching." "I know." Her voice broke. "Do you hate me?" "No," I said instantly. "Never." Her eyes filled. She stopped, swallowing the words. "I still care." I felt it like a spark in a room filled with gasoline. "Lena." She reached for my hand, then pulled back like touching me would shatter us both. "We can't do this." "I know. But I can't stop wanting to." I closed my eyes. "You'll make this worse." "I already made everything worse," she whispered. Footsteps echoed behind us. Mara's steps, sharp and furious. Lena tensed. "I have to go." "Lena." She backed away. "Don't let her break you." Then she ran. Mara rounded the corner a heartbeat later. "What did she say to you?" "None of your business." "It's all my business," she said, trembling with anger. "You're mine. This house is yours. This life is ours. She has no place here." "She has a place in my heart," I said quietly. "You'll never change that." Her expression cracked for just a moment. Hurt, fear, something real, before she masked it again. "Then I'll just have to try harder." I looked at the mansion around me, gold walls, perfect floors, a cage carved out of wealth, and whispered, "This isn't a home." "It will be," she insisted. "No," I said. "It won't." She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. Her voice softened. "Evan, I'm lonely." "Lonely people don't steal lives," I said. "Lonely people do anything to keep from being abandoned." I stared at her, seeing the cracks beneath the cruelty. "I won't abandon you," I said. "But I won't love you either." Her throat tightened. "You will." "No," I whispered. "I won't." Her eyes shone, not with tears, but with the terrifying certainty of someone who had never lost a battle. "We'll see," she said. I turned away, feeling the walls close in around me again, not because they were strong, but because I was trapped between two impossible truths. The woman I loved was hurting because of me, and the woman I married would never let me go. Mara paced the length of her office, heels snapping like gunshots. "Julian is lying," she said. "He wants my company. He wants everything I built." I stood near the door, hands tucked behind me so she wouldn't see them shaking. "What exactly did he accuse you of?" "Fraud," she spat. "Fraud. As if I'd ever need to cheat. I made him." I whispered, "The investors don't seem to agree." She spun toward me, eyes sharp. "What did you say?" "I said the investors." "I heard you." Her voice cracked. "You think I'm collapsing." I swallowed. "I think you're scared." She lunged closer. "Don't analyze me. You don't get to do that. You're supposed to support me." "Support doesn't mean lying. It means loyalty." She jabbed a finger at my chest. "Do you have any?" Before I could answer, the door creaked open. Caden stepped in slowly, gaze moving between us. You two okay? Mara snapped, get out. He ignored her. Julian called, he said to me. He wants to meet. I blinked. Why me? He said you'd listen. That you're reasonable. Mara's face went white. You will not speak to him. Caden crossed his arms. Maybe Evan should. No, she pointed at him. You're taking his side. I'm taking the side that isn't screaming. Mara's breath trembled. You think I'm losing control. You are, he said gently. She slapped him. Hard. The sound cracked through the room. I rushed forward. Mara. She turned and slapped me too. My cheek burned. The world tilted. For a moment I couldn't breathe. Caden shoved between us. Touch him again and I swear. He's my husband, she hissed. I can do what I want. No, Caden said. You really can't. Mara stared at him like she didn't recognize him. You're betraying me. I'm protecting him. His voice softened. And maybe I'm protecting you from yourself. She laughed, brittle and wild. Get out. Both of you. Out. Caden grabbed my arm and pulled me into the hallway, closing the door behind us. He exhaled shakily. You okay? No, I said. He nodded like he expected that. If she hits you again, I'm calling someone. Who? The police. I laughed bitterly. She owns half of them. Not all, he said. And you don't have to stay quiet. I wanted to tell him I'd been quiet for too long, but footsteps echoed behind us, and a maid hurried past with her head down, as if afraid to breathe wrong. It reminded me that this house wasn't just hers. It was her kingdom, and we were all her subjects. Back in my room, my phone buzzed. A single text. Lena, can we talk? Please. I hesitated only a moment before slipping out through the side door. The garden was dim, lit only by the orange smear of sunset. She stood near the fountain, arms wrapped around herself. When she saw me, her voice cracked. What happened to your face? Mara. Lena took a step closer, but stopped as if she didn't deserve to. I'm sorry. It wasn't your fault. It was, she whispered. I should have told you sooner. Told me what? She looked at the ground. Mara didn't just manipulate me. She manipulated you. From the beginning. I frowned. I know she pushed you to end things. No, Lena said. It was more than that. Her hands trembled. She studied you. She watched you for months. She wanted someone she could control, someone gentle, someone who wouldn't fight back. My stomach dropped. What are you talking about? Mara asked me everything about you. What you feared, what you wanted. She said she needed a husband who wouldn't run. Someone she could shape. So she picked me. She targeted you, Lena whispered. And I helped her. I didn't know what she was planning. I thought she just wanted a chance. I was stupid. You weren't stupid, I said. You were scared. She shook her head. You should hate me. I don't. But you should. I don't, I repeated quietly. She stepped closer. Evan, you're not safe with her. I know. Then leave. I can't, not yet. Why not? Her voice cracked. What is she holding over you? Everything, I said softly. But maybe not for much longer. Lena blinked. What do you mean? I'm done being her puppet. My voice surprised even me. Steady, grounded. She hit Caden today. She hit me. She's unraveling. And when people unravel, they leave mistakes behind. Lena whispered, You're planning something. I'm gathering proof, I said. Everything she's done. Every threat. Every bruise. Every recording. Every ledger she thought no one would check. That's dangerous. So is staying. She reached out like she wanted to touch my cheek, but stopped just short. I'm scared for you. I'm scared too, I admitted. But fear isn't enough to keep me here anymore. She inhaled shakily. Tell me what you need. Just don't disappear again. Her eyes softened. I won't. Footsteps crunched behind us. Caden appeared at the gate, hands in his pockets. You two need to come inside. Reporters are outside the fence. Someone leaked the investigation. Mara. It had to be Mara. She always lashed out when cornered. Caden looked at me. She's asking for you. Lena whispered, don't go. I have to, I said. For now. Lena's voice broke. Evan. I stepped back. I'll be okay. She didn't believe me. Neither did I. Inside, the air felt colder. The mansion hummed with tension. Mara stood at the top of the staircase, one hand gripping the railing like it was the only thing keeping her upright. When she saw me, her voice softened painfully. Come here. I walked up slowly. She reached out, touching the cheek she'd struck. I didn't mean to. You did. Her fingers trembled. Don't leave me. Everyone else is turning on me. I only have you. I met her eyes. Not anymore. Something in her expression cracked. Fear, maybe, or fury. But for the first time, I didn't flinch. Not anymore. Not ever again. I set the folder on the table between us and said, read it, Mara. She didn't move. Her eyes twitched, but her hand stayed frozen on the back of the chair. What is this supposed to be? My freedom, I said. And your truth. She laughed, sharp, trembling. You think you can intimidate me with papers? Evan, be serious. I am. I opened the folder and slid a page toward her. Recorded messages. Your threats. Your deals behind my back. The things you said to Lena. Her face went pale, but she tried to hold her smile. You don't understand what you're talking about. I understand everything, I said. I understand that you controlled me. I understand that you cornered Lena. I understand that you used my family as leverage. Mara's voice cracked. I gave you a life better than anything you had. I protected you. You caged me, I said. And you called it love. Her hand slammed onto the table. Because you were supposed to stay. You were supposed to be the one person who wouldn't leave me. I felt something inside me shift. Not pity, not sympathy, just clarity. You never gave me a choice. Her eyes glistened. If I didn't force you, you would have run straight to her. And you think this, I lifted another page, would keep me from seeing the truth? She swayed, gripping the chair. I just needed you to be mine. That's all. You don't own me, I said. Not anymore. The door opened behind me. Caden stepped in, voice low but steady. It's time, Mara. She stared at him as if he'd stab her. You're helping him? You? After everything I've done for you? Caden didn't flinch. Everything you did was for yourself. She shook her head wildly. You don't get to say that. None of you get to say anything. This is my house. My life. And you used both to crush people, I said. But that stops now. Julian walked in behind Caden, expression grim. Mara, you need to listen. The board has seen the documents. They know about the money transfers. They know about the intimidation. He set another folder beside mine. You're done. No, she whispered. You can't do this. You can't all turn on me in one day. It wasn't one day, I said. It was years. You just didn't notice. She staggered toward me like she needed something to hold on to. Evan, please. You're my husband. You can fix this with me. I'm filing for divorce, I said. The words hit her harder than anything else. She froze, breath hitching. You can't leave. I already left, I said. She shook her head, backing up. No, Evan, you don't understand. Without you. I finally do understand, I said. You didn't love me. You feared losing control. Her voice broke. And what if that's true? What if I'm terrified? What if everyone I've ever cared about abandoned me unless I held them tight? You didn't hold us, I said. You strangled us. She covered her face as a choked sound escaped her. I didn't want to be alone. Caden stepped forward. You won't be. But not like this. Her hands dropped, and she glared at him through tears. You're choosing him over your own sister. I'm choosing what's right, he said. Someone had to. Mara turned back to me, voice small for the first time since I'd known her. Evan, please, don't destroy me. You destroyed yourself, I said. All I'm doing is walking away. Julian placed the divorce papers on the table. It's time to sign. She stared at them with shaking hands. If I sign these, I lose everything. No, I said. You lose control. That's different. She picked up the pen slowly, almost mechanically, then dropped it again as tears streaked down her face. Why wasn't I enough for you? You never let me choose, I said. You forced a future that wasn't real. She let out a broken laugh. I built an empire, Evan. I couldn't build you. You tried to build a puppet, I said. Not a partner. Silence fell heavy in the room. Then she signed. The sound of the pen scratching across the page felt like chains snapping off my wrists. Mara collapsed into the chair, hands trembling, whispering something too quiet to hear. Caden placed a gentle hand on her shoulder, but she didn't react. She just stared at the papers as if they were ashes. I walked out before she could say anything else. The hallway felt colder, wider, almost unfamiliar now that I wasn't trapped in it. Lena was waiting at the end, eyes red, fingers twisting nervously. You did it, she whispered. I had to, I said. She approached slowly, as if afraid I'd push her away. Evan. I was terrified. I thought that after everything she did, you'd become like her. Hard. Distant. I'm not her, I said. And I won't be. She let out a shaking breath. I'm still scared. I know, I said. But I'm done living in fear. Her eyes filled again. What happens now? I take my life back, I said. And maybe, someday, we figure out ours. She reached for my hand but stopped halfway. You've changed. I had to, I said. There was a quiet moment, fragile, hopeful, uncertain. Then she nodded. Whatever happens, I'm here. Not because anyone forced me, because I choose to be. I felt a weight lift inside me, something deep and buried. Then that's enough. Behind us, Mara's empire cracked. Her voice, her rules, her shadow, none of it owned me anymore. My chains were broken. But I wasn't the same boy who first fell in love. And maybe that was the point.